Good morning, Year 6. It's Miss Ryan here, and welcome to your final reading session for this week. And it's Thursday, which means that we are learning to answer Viper's questions, and we're going to be directly comparing our two extracts. So, we know what Viper stands for, but I've just popped a picture on here just to remind us that it is our vocabulary questions, our inference questions, the ones where we have to dig a little bit deeper for some clues, our predictions, what's going to happen next, our explain questions, which are usually our 3 markers, our retrieve questions, which you are picking it out from the text and literally copying it, and our summary questions. Okay, so here are your Vipers questions for this week. So I've just color-coded each of the letters, which will correspond to what type of question it is. So V is for vocabulary, and I've highlighted all the vocabulary questions in red. It's just for some people, makes it a little bit easier to understand which questions are which. Okay, so here are your questions for the first extract that we looked at all the way back on Monday. So we've got, for 1 mark, find and copy a word that means the same as unwind. Now, the fact that it says find and copy a word, as we know, you've got to find it in the text. So you're going to have to go back to the text, scan the text, and when you're copying a word, please make sure that you're copying the spellings correctly and accurately. And if it's a word, then that to me suggests that it's going to be 1 word only. So you've got to think of 1 word in the text that means the same as unwind. So I'll leave you with that one. Number 2, again, another vocab question. Find and copy the phrase. So it's a phrase this time, which means a group of words, which shows that the witness, so our witness was Lawrence Beasley, appreciates something more serious is happening. So at what point in the text does he realise that actually, oh my goodness, this is quite a serious situation? So there's one phrase where it's a little bit like a turning point. See if you can find that one. Okay, number 3. How does the witness, oh, it's a purple one, which means it must be a retrieve question. How does the witness suggest that there was an atmosphere of calm? So have a look back in the text. How does the witness suggest and show that it was quite a calm atmosphere? So you're going to have to retrieve a sentence, it could be a phrase, it could be a single word from the text to show that the atmosphere was calm. Okay, and there probably are going to be quite a few different answers for that one, but you only need 1 for 1 mark. And the final question for this extract, number 4, and it's a yellow question, which means it is an inference question. This is where they're a little bit trickier because it's not quite an obvious answer in the text. Why do you think, okay, so it's an opinion question, why do you think the men waited in absolute silence, and there's little quote marks there because it's being pulled directly from the text. So why do you think the men waited in absolute silence when told to stand away from the lifeboats? So before you even read the next bit, your point, you need to answer the question, why do you think the men, excuse me, waited in absolute silence when they were told to move away from the lifeboats? So why do you think they stood there and waited in absolute silence? Okay, think about why they have reacted like that. Then for your second mark, you must use evidence to support what you are saying, to back up your answer. Okay? Right. That is your extract 1 questions. Let's have a look at the second extract questions now. So number 5, another inference question. Look at the first couple of sentences. How might the witness, so we're referring here to Colonel Archibald Gracie, have felt during this time? So again, you need your point first. How do you think that that person might have felt, okay, at that time? So you need to reread it and you need to choose an emotion that they were feeling in the first couple of sentences. That's your first mark. For your second mark, you need to back up your answer and support your answer with evidence. So, for example, I think that they are feeling blank. Okay, I think they are feeling blank because in the text it says, and how are you going to support what you are saying? Okay, I'll leave you with that one. Number 6. Which phrase, and it's a retrieve question, so it's going to pick a phrase from the text. Which phrase tells us that Colonel Archibald was determined not to drown in the ocean? So I found a phrase somewhere in there which shows that he is really, really, really determined to survive. Okay, there's a certain phrase that makes you think, wow, he must have been really determined. Okay, I'll see if you can find that. And the last one for this extract, number 7, and it's blue, so it's an explain question. Explain what the author means by people being boiled to death. So the author in this instance is obviously Colonel Archibald, the witness still. So explain what he means by people being boiled to death. Now, I touched on this in my book talk session on Tuesday about what kind of picture that's painted in my head and why he's chosen to use the word boiled. Okay, quite an unusual description there. Okay, so final question. I've left you with a lovely 3 marker for the end, and it's a comparison of both of the extracts. So let's read this explain question. Number 8, how is the atmosphere different across the 2 passages? The passages just means the texts, just a different way of saying the extracts. So you've got to explain your answer as always, and you've got to use evidence from both texts like you would. Now I've put a little hint on here for you. So my hint is there anything the same across both extracts? Is there anything really different about them? Which is the most dramatic extract and why? Which is the most truthful extract and why? So just a couple of things to think about to help you answer the question. Now it's an atmosphere question. So you've got to think, what is the first text? What is the atmosphere of the first text? Okay, we talked about that a little bit on Monday, about perhaps it being quite a calm atmosphere. Okay, we weren't in the brink or the peak of the commotion at the minute. It had just begun to tilt. So think about how you could support the fact that it's quite a calm atmosphere. How do you know that? And then jump to your second extract and think, well, is this one calm? Is this the same or is this completely different? Is this more dramatic? Okay, and don't forget to back up your points with evidence from the text. So I think this because in the text it says this. Okay, and then you will easily get your lovely 3 marks. So have a good go at that. Okay, I'll just put at the bottom here that it's out of 12 marks. So know that my class like to write their scores down at the end. So your task now is to answer the Vipers questions. You can simply write the answers in your science book. So you don't have to write the questions out if you don't want to. You can just put number 1 and then the answer. Or if you would like, you can go onto our page on our school website, and I have put the attachment, the Word document, on there. So if you want to print it off and it looks like this, okay, across 2 pages, then you can do so and then fill in your answers on that sheet. Now, the teachers would really, really, really love to see your answers. And if you want to check your answers with us, by all means, email your work in and we can give you the answers for you to mark your own work. Okay? So, have a good go at it. Okay? And I'll hopefully see plenty of responses and just try your best. Okay? And that is it for this week. So, have a lovely weekend and we will be back with more reading sessions next week. Bye for now.